What's going on, guys? Welcome to a random Thursday night stream. I just put out a video called Jorge Masvidal may have just saved or may have just saved Colby Covington from fighting Khamzat Chimaev. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to go check it out after the stream. But I figured it's not too late just yet. It's not too late just yet. Why not jump on a stream, talk to you guys? There's a bunch of, in the last 2 weeks, I don't ever remember there being a period with so much MMA news. We got Jeff Neal versus Vicente Luque. We got Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold. We got Umar Nurmagomedov's next fight announced. I forgot the guy's name he's fighting, to be honest. There's been so much news lately. It's unreal. Let's see what else we got. I'm going onto the website. We got the whole disturbing, bizarre Pat Barry MMA Hour interview. Weird as hell. Nate Diaz at UFC headquarters pissing on the lawn. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, and the Pat Barry situation just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller official. Michelle Watterson and Amanda Lemos. I think we talked about that already. We got Bellator 281 tomorrow. I may or may not do a stream for it. I might just do like the last two fights. I did a poll on the channel. If you guys want me, I do those polls just to kind of see the interest of people in different fight cards because believe it or not, a lot of people don't care about Bellator. I know you guys probably already know that. But if you guys want me to do the stream for Bellator, go vote in that poll. Right now it's leaning no. People do not want me to do that stream. They don't care enough about Bellator 281. I might do it anyway because some of the most random streams that I've done have been the most successful as far as picking up some new subscribers and stuff like that. So I may do it, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, another one, Paul Craig versus Volkan Ozdemir. I think we talked about that the other day. I said that probably made sense right now. But we got that. Paul Craig, it's crazy. Paul Craig just is losing fights until he's not anymore. What's going on, William? I hope you're doing well. What's up, French Fries? What's up, Manuel Cop's right hand? Chimaev has double the hand power as Colby, and his wrestling is better and his grappling is better. I don't see Covington going the distance. What about you? I favor Khamzat Chimaev in that fight. But that being said, Covington does have a certain style where it's pressure, volume, and wear you out and beat you down in later rounds. It's very possible that you could get a Colby Covington late round stoppage or something like that. I don't foresee that. I think Hamza will come in shape. I think he'll pace himself a little bit more than he would otherwise. And I think Hamza wins the fight. But I would really like to see it because it'd be a good gauge of both guys' skill sets. Chimaev definitely has the power advantage for sure. Definitely has the power advantage. What's up, Fight Life Nation? What's going on, Joey? What do you think of Saturday's event? What do I think of Saturday's event? I feel like a lot of people have shit on me in the past when I say, oh, this fight card is not that great. I love all MMA. I torture myself watching shitty PFL cards, shitty Bellator cards. So I feel like if anybody has the right to criticize an event, I get the right. And I know sometimes it's like, okay, we've been spoiled with a great fight card. Now we got a fight night card. Maybe it's not as bad. It's not that great. I'm really looking forward to the main event, but overall, the card itself is not that great. There's some fun fights on it, don't get me wrong. But for me, and this isn't everyone, for me, the fights that I'm most intrigued in, regardless of the fight night event or pay-per-view event, are fights that matter in the grand scheme of the division. That's what matters to me the most. Jan Blachowicz, Alexander Rakic matters within the light heavyweight division. Co-main event, Ryan Spann, Ian Cutelaba. Does that matter? Probably not. Most likely not. Luis Smoka, Davy Grant. I don't know. I actually think Davy Grant is a solid fighter. But again, it's at the bantamweight weight class. Whew, that's a tough one to break into because the talent pool is so deep. Chukagian versus Amanda Ribas is solid. You know, that means something at flyweight. Frank Camacho versus Manuel Torres. Jake Hadley, a.k.a. guy who came on the Dana White Contender Series and missed weight but still got a contract, versus Alan Nascimento. Okay, that's fine. Michael Johnson's on the prelims, which is crazy. He's been around forever. I mean, I am going to watch this fight card in almost its entirety for the most part. I don't know if I'll see every single fight, but sometimes I do miss some of the early fights. But it's not that great of a card. But that doesn't mean the fights can't end up being super exciting. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Fight Life. I hope that was in depth for you. There's no chance that Hamza will knock Colby in the first round. Colby is cardio god and has a chin of steel. The fight will go the distance. Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't necessarily say Hamza knocks him out. I think it's a possibility though, but you never know. Hamza couldn't even knock out Burns. Okay. Yeah, I agree. The only edge Colby has on Hamza is his stamina, as he has very good cardio. I'm reading in the wrong spot. As he has very good cardio, do you think Hamza can match his cardio, or he will need to go? I think Hamza can pace himself a little bit and be all right. UFC made Holly Holm versus Vieira as the main event the day after my B-Day. That's a terrible birthday gift. Joey, who do you got for Cruz versus Dvalishvili? I really don't like this fight for Cruz, but it's in the works. I think the fight to make is Jan versus Dvalishvili. I haven't seen that. Is it in the works? I did not see this. But I'm not a massive fan of that fight. You know, there's plenty of other matchups in the division I'd prefer to see. I think Yan Dvalishvili would have been a lot more fun, for sure. What's up, homework? Did not expect to stream tonight. Don't worry, Joey. I'll fill you in on the prelims on the Discord. A lot of times I miss what I usually miss like 2 or 3 fights sometimes. Sometimes I watch the first fight, then miss the second or third because I'm always doing stuff or, you know, have stuff to do. And I'm trying to get better about it because I truly do want to watch them all, because when I really started watching MMA, I tried to always watch every fight, because the guys on the prelims are next year's or 3 years from now could be on the main card, main event of fight cards. You know, everyone started off as a prelim fighter for the most part. What's up, Antoine? My day was good. I hope yours was good as well. Joey, do you think they'll do Usman, Leon, then co-main Hamzat versus Colby, maybe for interim? I don't think they ever done that before. If they do Usman versus Leon, they're not going to do an interim. And if it's on the same card, if that's what you're saying. But no, if Usman versus Leon goes down in any shape or form, there will be no interim title. But I don't know if I fully understood the question. Did you hear that the UFC is trying to feed Nate Diaz to Hamzat? Yes, I did. I have a whole video on the channel discussing it from last week. They are trying to feed Nate Diaz to Hamzat because Nate is trying to fight out his contract. That is why they are trying to make Hamzat and Nate Diaz put that fight together. I mean, who wants to see that? That fight makes 0 sense. Stylistic-wise, we know what's going to happen in that fight. Hamzat would ragdoll Nate Diaz. If they book Nate Diaz versus Hamzat, my official prediction will probably be Hamzat by first round doctor stoppage. So he beats the shit out of Nate Diaz for the entire first round. He beats him up on the feet. He throws him to the ground. He ground and pounds him. And then the end of the round, he's so battered, scar tissue's opened up, that the doctors stop it in between rounds. That would be my prediction for that fight. I don't want to see that fight at all. It's not competitive. I will always stay consistent. I don't want to see fights that I don't believe to be competitive. That's always my thoughts. What's up, MMA Joey, brother? What's up, Keep Out, man? Thank you for always watching the videos. Thank you for commenting on the videos. Thank you for sending other MMA fans to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. The support means a lot. I saw your video earlier. Do you think Colby ever fights Hamzat and who wins? I think it's 50-50. I think it could happen. It could not happen. I favor Hamza, but that's a tough fight to pick. I really could see it going either way, but I favor Hamza. It's just he seems so powerful. His striking looks really good. I think his striking is better than Colby's. And the only thing I worry about is the stamina issue of Hamzat. But I don't know if Hamzat even has a stamina issue. People watch these 3-round fights and they'll claim a guy has a stamina issue because at the end of the third round he's exhausted. But they forget the pace that went on in the 3-round fight with a conscious effort because they know it's a 3-round fight. They fought like that because they knew it was only a 3-round fight, disregarding the fact that if it was a 5-round fight, they would have conserved their energy a little bit better. So we talked about it with Rafael Fiziev. It's kind of, a thing where they say, oh, Fiziev doesn't have great cardio. Look at the Bobby Green fight. The output in that fight was incredible. That's why he was tired in the third round. So same thing with Hamzat. So I would like to see it tested against a guy like Colby who has crazy cardio. It'd be a very compelling matchup. But I'd go Hamzat. In addition to his cardio, Colby has magnificent work and one of the best strike rates in the UFC. Yeah, the volume is unreal. The volume from Colby, Colby Covington is insane. I mean, that's what his style is predicated on: pressure and volume. Imagine if Colby Covington had power. Whew. Yeah, I agree. It could be like Mazvidal versus Diaz where doctor stoppage happened. Do you agree with that stoppage, or do you think Diaz could have continued under the... I mean, I was disappointed. I was there live, but I saw all I needed to see. Nate Diaz was getting the shit beat out of him. The eye was bad. But had it been somewhere else, they might have let it go for a little bit longer. Joey, do you think Conor versus Chandler going to happen at 170 or what? I think if it happens at 170. So is Colby fighting Hamzat or not? It's not official, but it's the fight that needs to be made. Also, do I think it's going to happen? No. Thank you again. Conor versus Volk at 170. Laugh now, just wait. Oh my, stop it. I don't want to see that at all. Do you think Hamzat could out-wrestle Colby? Define out-wrestle. Defend takedowns? Yes. I doubt he could offensively wrestle Colby, if that's what you're asking. I think it would just be a stalemate. I think they're both very, very good. Joey, fantasy matchup, but how do you see Olives versus Ortega at 55? I think Oliveira lights him up on the feet. I think Oliveira beats him on the feet and TKOs him. I mean, if you're not tired at the end of the fight, are you really pushing yourself? True. I want to see Diaz Masvidal 2 for the BMF belt. The first fight shouldn't have been stopped. I believe Nate can drop Masvidal. I wouldn't mind that fight, but I'm not clamoring to see it. Masvidal was beating the shit out of him. I'm a Nate Diaz fan. But I saw all I needed to see in that fight, to be honest. Masvidal was going to win. And, it sucks that it was a doctor stoppage. I wouldn't mind seeing him run it back, though. It's a fun fight. Neither guy is in contention for a title. So they can rebook it. I'll be fine with that. I'm not going to say don't book it. Joey, do you think DC would come out of retirement if John Jones wins the heavyweight title? It would make a good trilogy. Absolutely not. DC's not going to come out of retirement to get the shit kicked out of him by John Jones. No way. He retired for a reason, and he's not going to... I don't think DC ever comes back from retirement. He's done. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. I will never, ever have to do a Daniel Cormier prediction video on this channel. So there you go. Colby hasn't really said anything about fighting Hamza. I feel he's going to dodge the matchup, but not sure as Colby has the balls to step in with Usman. Yeah, I don't think he wants the matchup at all. But he's got an out now because of Jorge Masvidal. He has that out because Jorge Masvidal attacked him. Because that's the fight that makes sense. That's the fight that makes the most sense. Who doesn't want to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington? It's a no-brainer. It's a great, compelling matchup. It makes sense for the division. It makes sense for both fighters. But I think Colby doesn't want that fight. And I don't know. There's not a better fight for him in the division, in my opinion. What's up, bro? What's up, Jordan? If Colby doesn't want to fight, then do Khamzat versus Mazvidal. Put the interim title in there. Absolutely not. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Like, who would win the scrambles? Would it be like Makhachev versus Sarukian level? Who would win the scrambles? I just think it would be like Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington 1, where neither guy would just even bother shooting. They would just have to strike. But I think it'd be dead even. I think it'd be dead even. You might never do a John Jones prediction either. That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't remember. I'm trying to think when I picked against Jones. It's been a long time since I picked against Jones. A long, long time. I thought Lyoto Machida was going to be the guy to beat him way back when I first became a fan, really, around that time. Gotta go. Have fun. Talk to you later. I would love to see Colby Covington versus Khamzat. Yeah, I think we all would. I think we all would love to see that fight. I mean, who would not like to see that fight? It would be amazing. I mean, it's perfect. It makes sense within the division. It's a perfect fight. It's a perfect fight. By the way, guys, do me a favor. If you have not already liked the stream, make sure to like the stream. That's how we get a bunch of viewers in here. It helps people find the stream. So run up the likes on the stream if you haven't already liked it. I'm trying to, for some reason, my chat on YouTube isn't working now. I don't know why that's not working. That's really annoying, actually. Let's reopen YouTube Studio. Let's close it out. I have another way to say it, but it's just annoying because I was going to do a poll. Let's see if this works. Okay, for some reason the chat is not working on YouTube Studio, but luckily it's still coming through on StreamYard. So we're good to go, it looks like. But it's just weird that it's not working. So, okay. Hamza versus Mazvidal would be an annihilation. Yeah, Hamza would wreck Mazvidal. That's a terrible matchup. There you go. I answered the question that I see popping up. The only one I would have against Jones was Gustafsson. That fight was intense for a rematch. Would have been amazing for the fans. There was a rematch and Jones beat him up. I don't know if I misread that or not. Do you ever think we get Izzy Jones? No. And Jones would wreck Izzy. Jones would take Izzy down. He would treat him like a baby. And he would wreck him. Okay? There's no doubt about that. But we will never see that fight, I don't think. I don't think we'll ever see that. Why would Khamzat versus Jorge for the interim title be bad? Jorge's lost, 3 fights in a row? Why would Jorge be fighting for a title? Khamzat would wreck Jorge as well. It's not a competitive fight. I have no desire to see that. That's why it's a bad idea. Our man versus Gamrot is going to be insane. I agree. That's a very compelling fight. I'm super interested in it. Joe, do you think Jorge's next fight is going to be a headliner of a pay-per-view? Because once you start losing, you lose your star power. No, I do not. I think it'll be like a co-main event. So, how does Burns versus Masvidal play? I think that's a very interesting matchup. I think Burns out-wrestles him. Out-grapples him and out-wrestles him probably. But it would be compelling. I think Burns is obviously a notch below like Colby's grappling. And Jorge does decent against grapplers. He knows what people are trying to do. So it'd be an interesting match, but I think Burns probably wins by decision. Plan on going to any UFC events anytime soon. I'd love to go to 276, but I'm still financially recovering from 268. I want to. I don't know. I'm kind of person that it could just pop up and I could just do it. But the events are just so expensive between the tickets to the event, the hotels, the travel, all, food, stuff, everything there. I mean, it just adds and adds up over and over and over again. If in the next year or two the channel really takes off and the channel really grows, I could see myself going to a lot of events. I could say, if I can make some money off the channel, I could see myself going to some events. That'd be really nice. That'd be awesome. And imagine me in the hotel room doing a live stream post-fight. It'd be awesome. What do you have in an Izzy versus Hamza? Who do you have in an Izzy versus Hamza? I got Izzy. I think Izzy can defend the takedowns of Hamza, and Izzy's the far better striker. But it'd be interesting. Leon could beat the Hamza for an interim title, then fight Masvidal for the BMF money, fight on quick turnaround while Usman heals up. Leon could be a superstar. Yeah, I don't think the UFC would do that. They're not going to put a guy... I doubt they're going to let Jorge fight for a belt after he's already fought for a belt, 2 times in the past, 2 years. And then he's lost a fight on top of that. But who knows? You never know. Jorge Masvidal is very popular. Should Gillespie fight the loser of RDA Fiziev or wait and try to fight Gaethje or Tony? I don't want to see Gillespie versus Tony. Do Gillespie versus Gaethje, but Gregor Gillespie's inactive. He's getting up there in age. I think he's going to be irrelevant pretty soon. UFC might cut him. It doesn't seem like he wants to fight at all. Doesn't want to seem like he wants to fight at all. If the fight goes to the ground, then Hamza beats him. But if the fight stays in the feet, Mazvidal destroys him in the stand-up. I don't know, because you have to take into account that Mazvidal will be worried about the threat of the takedown. So, in turn, Hamza could have some success on the feet. I think it's very possible that he could. I don't know why my chat is not working here on YouTube. Okay. There we go. I did the pop-out chat, and it seemed like it's working now. Okay, let's continue with the messages. Guys, keep filling the chat with questions. Don't forget to like the stream, as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And guys, after this stream, I want you to go check out my newest video. Jorge Masvidal might have saved Colby Covington from having to fight Khamzat Chimaev. I would appreciate you guys if you checked it out after the stream. It's a video I just put out in the last hour or two. Mazvidal, ground game needs work. If his ground game was good, he'd be champion. Fair enough. Bro, how is if Conor loses back-to-back fights and his next fight is going to be a pay-per-view? I don't understand. Because UFC's milking him for every last drop. Is the upcoming fight with John a pay-per-view, or is it going to be Jan Blachowicz is what you mean? It's on ESPN Plus. So if you have an ESPN Plus membership, you will be able to watch the fight. It's not a pay-per-view. If that's what you mean, Jan Blachowicz. That's an interesting spelling. That is a very interesting spelling of Jan Blachowicz. Who do you have in Gaethje versus Conor matchup? I feel it's very even. I feel it's very even too. I'd probably take Gaethje. The leg kicks would be so much for Conor to deal with. And Gaethje, I mean, people have a hard time beating Gaethje striking. I want to see Brady versus Burns so bad. Why are we feeding Burns all the up-and-coming great contenders? Why are we feeding Burns to all the up-and-coming guys? It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, actually. He's got to fight all these young killers. Next, we're going to be throwing him against... He'll fight Sean Brady next, and then we'll make him fight Shavkat while we're at it. Why not? Thoughts on Chandler turning down Poirier? A lot of people don't realize what happened was when Chandler originally came into the UFC and there was talk of him getting a title shot, Dustin Poirier was kind of disrespectful, like in a weird way, where he's like, this guy, he's come in, he's won one fight against a guy I just beat, and you know, I'd rather go sell hot sauce than fight him. And basically what he was doing, he was disrespecting the work that Michael Chandler had done outside the UFC and acting like, you know, Chandler didn't deserve anything that he was getting, which I understood that. But at the same time, Chandler had been a guy fighting some of the best in the world outside of the UFC for long periods of time. And that's why he got what he got. And people didn't respect that enough. And I think now Chandler is in a better position than Poirier. And now he's kind of saying, you know what? That guy disrespected me. I'll go fight other guys. I don't want to even fight him anymore. And that's what happened. A lot of people miss that. Who should Ilia Topuria fight in your opinion? Patty the Batty. That's the fight to make. If Tyson Fury can knock out Ngannou, he will be undisputed in boxing. Yeah, I guess so. Any updates on Hamza Colby? I doubt it happens next. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on it. I hope it happens, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell for sure. Burns is stepping stone to get to the top 5 and start fighting the monsters. Burns is in the top 5, my friend. It looked like Oliveira rocked him in the striking, in my opinion. Oh, he flash KO'd him. When he dropped him before he got the rear naked choke, he flash KO'd him. He was out for briefly, very brief second. Go back and watch it. He stiffened up. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm assuming that's about... Basically, Dustin Poirier was big time in him. That's the best way I can explain it. Is Poirier was big time in him when he came into the UFC and saying, the UFC wants me to fight Chandler. I'll go sell hot sauce instead. Basically saying, you know, Chandler doesn't deserve to even sniff him. is what he was saying. And it came off as really like annoying. And Chandler definitely took offense to it for sure. And I would have too if I was him. Because you know, people didn't respect what he's done outside of the organization, and they should. They really should. Chandler's fought the best available to him for years, and he's had a very good success rate, and he's an elite fighter. And people, just because you're in another organization doesn't mean you're a second-rate fighter. I wanted to see Chandler in the UFC for 10 years now. You know, he fought Eddie Alvarez, has a win over Eddie Alvarez, had a second close fight with Eddie Alvarez, and Eddie Alvarez came into the UFC and won a title. So that just goes to show you how good Chandler was. I honestly thought we'd never see Chandler outside of Bellator, but he came to the UFC and he's made a name for himself now. 4 fights and 4 classics, honestly, regardless win or lose. Burns is top 5. Yes, he is. Burns is top 5. Do you think Chandler versus Dustin is a grudge match? No, but there would definitely be a little bit of build up. Chandler is a menace after that head kick. Everyone is scared of him. Wouldn't say everyone's scared of him. I got you now. Chandler is good, but not championship material. He's an excited fighter who can beat good guys, but will lose to the best ones. But Chandler has nasty power, and he's very well rounded. One of these days, if he gets the opportunity, he could get it done. He was this close to being undisputed UFC lightweight champion. He almost stopped Charles Oliveira. And he's a tough matchup for Charles Oliveira because he's very explosive. Oliveira gets hit. Chandler has good defensive jiu-jitsu. He has good wrestling. Chandler could be the guy to beat Oliveira. If he goes out there with a more refined game plan, I think Chandler could beat Oliveira. Now, I'm not saying I would pick Chandler to beat Oliveira. I'm just saying with the right game plan, there is some potential there for Chandler. You look at the top of the division, Chandler's not an easy matchup for anyone. And I picked him to lose to Tony Ferguson, but Chandler's not an easy matchup for anyone. But at the same time, I could see him losing, just as well as I could see him winning. I could see him losing to Dustin. I could see him losing to Conor. I could see him losing to Charles, So it's he's one of those guys that is one of the best, but on any given night, he could shut someone's lights off or get his lights shut off as well. Eddie Alvarez washed right now. I don't know. No one is scared of Chandler. Islam would whoop him easy. Dariush could probably beat him too. I don't know. I think Chandler's a bad matchup for Islam. A bad matchup. Imagine Frankie moving back up to 55, fighting Chandler. It's crazy to think at one point he was the lightweight champion. Yeah, look how small Edgar is in comparison. It is crazy. What's Bilal Muhammad's ceiling? I think top 5 contender is probably his ceiling. I just don't see him beating Colby. I don't see him beating Hamza. I don't see him beating Usman. I don't see him beating Burns. I didn't see him beating Vicente Luque either, so it's one of those things. Chandler has been able to explode out of Oliveira guard. He has the power and aspect. He tees up. He can beat Oliveira. Yeah, he could. I don't think he was close of beating DuBronx. He just rocked him like most do. No, man. He was close. The referee almost jumped in. He dropped him. He was following up with ground and pound. The referee was looking at it close. But Oliveira was just bobbing and weaving on the ground, and a lot of the strikes missed. Had they connected, he would have been out of there. Hey, Joey, what's up? If I'm Charles, I'm looking closely at our man Gamrot fight. Those two could be the ones to beat him. It's very possible. It is very, very possible. Both those guys look like they could be at the top of the division in the very near future. I could totally see it. Chandler does have good defensive jiu-jitsu, but hopefully he don't fall to his back this time when Charles has his back. Yeah, that was crazy. What a wild fight that was. I got to go back and rewatch it. I watched that probably 5 or 6 times. Chandler is a beast. What are you talking about? He will not. Okay, you're not talking to me. How do you feel about UFC 275? There's a lot of good prospects. It's a decent card. I'm not going to cry and whine about it, but it leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm going to do a video in the next 2 weeks basically grading UFC 275 like I've been doing for each pay-per-view that you guys seem to have enjoyed. Do you think we will see Jones in the octagon this year? I missed the GOAT man. Yes, we will. We'll see him versus Stipe. He's 2-2, and his 2 wins were past prime Tony and Hooker. Nothing special. That's one way to look at it. To be honest, I feel like Chandler would take Conor in the second round. Conor is not an elite lightweight. I think Conor versus Chandler would be a very compelling matchup. Because Conor's got that long range and Chandler's kind of chinny, but Chandler's got the wrestling advantage, and Chandler's super explosive, and Conor tends to sit there and eat some shots too because he relies on his chin sometimes. I think that's the fight to make. That's a great fight, honestly. I would love to see it. Do you think if Gaethje went full ground and pound when he knocked Oliveira down and went full psycho mode, he could have been stopped? No. I think Oliveira actively made a decision to drop to his back. I still believe he had his wits about him, but I believe he was recovering. He was slightly stung. So no, I think he would have ended up in a bad position. Chandler is good. Not saying he sucks. Just don't think he's the best and not great stand-up defense in my opinion. I would agree with it. I mean, I picked him to lose to Tony. So you think Colby could out-wrestle Bilal? No, I think Colby would outstrike Bilal. And I think their wrestling would cancel each other out. I think that's what would happen. Can Luke Rockhold be the guy to dethrone Izzy? Prime Luke Rockhold, maybe. I don't trust Luke Rockhold's chin at all. It is just made of glass. So, no. But if Rockhold does go out there and beat Costa, my guess is he gets the next title shot. I would bet. Former champion, has some name value. Izzy has cleaned out the division. I would bet if Izzy beats Cannonier and Rockhold beats Paulo, the only X factor would be Alex Pereira. So, if it stays on the feet, Conor can beat him for sure. I think Chandler will wrestle Conor to beat him mixed stand-up ground game. If it stays on the feet, Conor can beat him for sure. I think Chandler will wrestle Conor to beat him. I don't know. Chandler's never fought smart. He always comes out there to brawl. I don't know. I lean Conor early, but I could switch my pick to Chandler, honestly. It's one of those things where, you know, I thought Chandler would beat Tony or could beat Tony. I would be more confident in Chandler beating Tony if Chandler was going to wrestle for 3 rounds. Hold on a second. But I didn't think Chandler had the fight IQ to go out there and do it. He just doesn't have it in him. He wants wild, crazy fights. That's what he wants. And it's great for us fans. But I don't think he's going to go out there and try to wrestle Conor. I doubt he goes out there and tries to wrestle Conor. I think he'll go out there. He'll try to have a wild, crazy fight with Conor McGregor, back and forth, standing and trading. And a 170-pound Conor, long, rangy. You have the chin issues of Chandler. You have the fact that he's probably not going to wrestle. I would like to see Chandler chopping the legs. It's a very compelling fight. Don't get me wrong. Either guy can definitely win. Conor relies on his chin a little bit too much. Sometimes he gets clipped up and he eats punches just because he thinks he can eat them. So, I mean, it's a wild fight, but right now I kind of lean Conor McGregor. But at the same time, I think Chandler's so dangerous that I don't think Conor wants that fight on his return. And I don't think the UFC wants to make that fight for Conor's return. Is there a chance of Hooker making a comeback? Be honest, because he's my favorite fighter of all time. Of course, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Hold on one second. There's always a chance of a comeback, for sure. But he's in a tough spot right now. Arnold Allen beat the brakes off of him, and it was not fun to watch. Is Chandler versus McGregor a pay-per-view headliner? I think it's a co-main on a stacked card. Unfortunately, Antoine, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind, if the UFC books Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, it will be the main event of a pay-per-view. Whether it belongs there or not, it's irrelevant. It's going to be the main draw for the pay-per-view buys. Therefore, it will be the main event, and there will probably be no title fights on the card. And it probably will be a shitty undercard, too. That's just the way the UFC rolls with Conor fights. Conor's shown nothing but 1-2 up the middle in his last few fights. Yeah, I mean, Conor just... I don't think he looked good in either Dustin Poirier fight, but the Conor fanboys will tell you that he looked great. He was winning up until the point he broke his leg and snapped his leg. I think Prime Luke was hard to beat. After those couple knockouts, things have changed. The glass jaw. The glass jaw. I just can't see Rockhold beating Costa. Costa's way too durable and solid cardio with power for 25 minutes. Rockhold only win is grapple him and submit him, which he surely can. Yeah, but Rockhold's got some rangy striking too. People forget about Rockhold striking because he's defensively irresponsible and his chin is made of glass. I could see that fight going either way. Of course, Mac Chandler's pay-per-view. Any Mac fight is until he's done. Volkanovski versus Holloway 3 prediction. I have an entire video made on this, but I'm going Volkanovski. He's too well-rounded. Great leg kicks. Has already fought Max twice and beat him twice. Got to roll with Volkanovski. There's some talks about Chandler Diaz. Some are saying Diaz may win. There's some talks about Chandler Diaz. Some are saying Diaz may win. I don't like that match. I like the matchup. It'd be fun, I guess. But I don't like it for Diaz. I think Chandler probably beats him. But I think Diaz could win. Chandler's the quintessential guy that starts to fade as the rounds go on. And I could already picture Chandler getting hit with a 1-2 and hurt badly as he's tired in the third round. And then shooting it on a takedown and getting guillotined or getting, reversed and rear naked choked or something like that. Similar to the Conor first fight. Hooker's done. He can still win, but not beating the top guys. Sorry to disappoint you. There you go. There's another answer. McGregor is by far the biggest seller pay-per-view wise. Anyone who thinks co-main is just a hater. Yeah, but as far as what we consider, I said he's a main event, but for me, it's only because of sales. It's not because of skill wise, but that's not what pay-per-views matter. It matters who's going to sell the card. So, yeah. How I see a fight playing out, Conor clips Chandler in the first round. Conor clips Chandler in the first round, drops him. Conor and Chandler scramble. Chandler recovers. Chandler reads Conor's reach and clips Conor with a right hand. Okay. That was a long message to read. Do you think Derek Brunson has a glass jaw? No. And puts him out. There you go. Luke fell in love with his striking and prefers stand-up, which is frustrating if you're his coach. Luke is a monster on the floor. Luke has some of the best top pressure and top jiu-jitsu in the game. The guy's an absolute savage. Once you get underneath of him, you cannot get out from underneath of him. Ask Chris Weidman. He beat the brakes off of prime Chris Weidman. Full mounted him and beat the shit out of him. While Herb Dean smoked a cigarette off to the side and just watched as Chris Weidman's brains were just slammed into the mat while his father was watching. And then in the post-fight interview, we have to hear Chris Weidman's dad say, "That's still my boy." Go watch the clip if you didn't see it. Hilarious, awkward, and cringe. What really happens if Max reclaims the featherweight title? Holloway versus Volkanovski 4? That probably depends how it happens, but I don't know if people really have an appetite for a fourth fight. So I don't know what happens. Everyone is saying Conor versus Chandler or Oliveira, but I think Conor versus Mazvidal is the fight to make. I've talked about it on the channel. I think I would agree with you. I would tend to agree with you. I think the UFC would make a mistake by not booking McGregor Masvidal. That is the biggest fight I think they can make right now. Pay-per-view wise, it would sell a lot. So why not book it? Kind of how Chandler did to Hooker. He's going to finish Conor. Okay. I think it's possible, but I don't think that's the most likely scenario. Is Vettori still on 275? Not as far as I know. I don't think so. I think he's pulled from the card, which sucks because him versus Robert Whittaker was a very compelling matchup. Do you think Michael Bisping was really the best middleweight martial artist in the world when he claimed the belt at 199? No, I did not. Yoel Romero would have beat the brakes off him. Whitaker would have beat the brakes off him. GSP beat him. And I think Luke Rockhold was just too cocky in that fight, and he could have beat him otherwise. But I knew it was going to happen. If Izzy loses, does Robert get the next title shot? No, Izzy will get a rematch immediately. There's a lot of room on the Leon train. Get your tickets now. Okay. Conor McGregor would be great, especially press conference. I think Gamebred beats him, though. Yeah, I'd probably favor Jorge Masvidal, but Masvidal's getting up there in age. He's taken a lot of damage in his last 3 fights. He's been KO'd by Usman. That changes your whole confidence level. But I think that's the fight to make. Garbrandt needs to beat Yaya. Yes, he does, or his career is over. I actually made a video about that as well. It's on the channel. It's recent. You can find it. It's called Can Cody Garbrandt Make a Career Resurgence, I believe is the title. I feel like Luke Rockhold has a solid chin. I feel like he would be a problem for Izzy. It'd be interesting because we've seen Whitaker be able to get him down. We've seen Vettori be able to get him down. But nobody can sustain the position when they get him down. Luke Rockhold would probably be able to sustain the position, but it's just a matter of not getting chinned in the meantime. So I think it's a compelling matchup, but only of Luke Rockhold from 2016. I don't think it's as compelling now because Luke's been out forever. Who knows what he's going to look like. His chin is a little bit suspicious. It's more than a little bit suspicious, honestly. So, I don't know. We'll see, though. But Luke Rockhold's probably 1 or 2 fights away from potentially fighting for a title against Israel Adesanya. If Alex Pereira wasn't there, I'd say definitely 1 fight away. Islam versus Oliveira. What about it? Who am I picking? I'm picking Oliveira. Call the Cops versus Boers is confirmed. No, it's not. It's not confirmed. I just did a video about it. You can check it out after the stream. That's why we're talking about it here. They should do Jorge versus Lawler for a Jorge comeback fight. Lawler is fighting Barberino. Is Robert a top 5 middleweight of all time? Yes, for sure. So well-rounded. Marlon Moraes versus Cody should have been the fight. Yeah, oh my, the no chin Olympics would have, So, whew, neither guy has a chin at all. At all. It's crazy. Sadly, Marlon retired. I have a feeling he comes back. I hope not. I mean, that chin. The sad thing about Marlon is the skills are there. The chin is not. When you have a massive off switch on your chin, it's hard to compete against some of the best in the world. I mean, when you're getting put out by Rob Pillow Punches Font, we got a big issue there. And it's not an issue you can train to fix. I don't know what you do when your off button is just massive like that. It's a problem. Yan going down to fight Izzy for his belt. Who are you going for? Yan can't make that weight. Yan is massive. Cody's career is the most interesting and downhill ever. Imagine him being champ again. Would be nothing short of a miracle. That'd be actually super interesting. Believe it or not, I was very high on Cody at one point in time, and I thought the most interesting matchup would have been Petr Yan versus Cody Garbrandt. But the chin is just too much of a liability. Joey, is Cody your favorite bantamweight? No. No, he's not. I would say Jose Aldo is. Jorge vs. Burns agreed to fight verbally. Is it being reported, or are you just talking about they said on Twitter they would fight? What if Cody came back and fought for the title at like 18-5 at ages 32, 33? That'd be crazy. At like 18-5. What is that? We're talking about his record? That'd be insane. That'd be a hell of a story. If Cody can reclaim the title or even get back to a title shot, that'd be an incredible story. An absolute incredible story. I literally couldn't even fathom that. But we'll see. He should get back on track with a win over Ronnie Yaya, which I believe he should win against Ronnie Yaya, but you never know. You never, ever know. Keep the questions coming, guys. I'm just checking something real quick, and then I'll go back to reading some questions. Okay. Tony seriously needs an easy fight, especially after a KO like that. If they throw him against Gregor or Hooker, man, it's the end of Tony. I disagree. I think he can beat Hooker, and I think he can beat Conor, too. Let me actually go do something real quick. Great, now I got to sneeze. Ow, that hurt. That hurt really bad, actually. 1 second. Oh, come on. I forgot to put something in here. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to like the channel as well. I mean, not like the channel, like the stream. I need you guys to like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. I repeat. Okay. Jorge comeback fight should be Nick, but I feel like he beats him. Yeah, Jorge would beat Nick, no problem. Nick would probably quit in the first round. Cody versus Cruz too. That'd be a very compelling matchup, but Cody has to earn that. He shouldn't even be looking at Cruz at this point in time. Yeah, I was high on him, especially on his way up. One of the best performances ever against Cruz, but it went back to back to back to back afterwards. Yes, it has. It's actually really sad. Yo, what's up, Austin? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming to the stream. What's next for Ngannou? The winner of Stipe versus John Jones is next for Ngannou. Honestly, I think the reason Marlon's chin is bad is because he drained at 135. He's a big 135er with a lot of muscle mass. Should have moved up to 45 after the Font loss. Yeah. Joey, do you know Conor's record? No, but I do know his record since 2016 at lightweight. He's won 1 fight. I was going crazy when Tony hit Chandler with that 1-2 and dropped him. I know. I see Ngannou fighting Fury before fighting in the UFC. That's if he ever fights in the UFC again. Who knows? Time will tell. I hope they get him figured out. I truly hope they get him figured out. And we see him versus Jones or Stipe or whoever, Aspinall, whoever it may be. What's the best UFC champion ever in your opinion? Probably John Jones. He just fought so many killers. So many killers, and he just looked so good doing it, and he fought a lot of guys that the game plan you thought they should fight. It's just insane. It's literally insane. That watching it, I wish he wasn't as inactive. I mean, he's missed so many years now from inactivity and, getting suspended and all that stuff. It just really sucks. It just really sucks that he's been out for so long. But it is what it is, I guess. There's nothing we can do about it now. What about Tony versus Marco Matson? Stop it. I don't want to see him fight that far down the ladder. And a wrestler nonetheless. Colby's scared to fight him. Sad, but it's true. He hasn't spoke his name, which I think is very telling. The fact that he hasn't spoke Khamzat's name is super telling in my opinion. I think Jones versus Gus 1 has to be up there for best championship fights ever. Is that what he was asking? Did I miss that? Did I misread that? Championship. What's the best UFC championship ever? I thought you said what's the best UFC champion ever. The best UFC championship fight. Jones Gus 1 is up there. Probably Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald. Honorable mention, Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes too. Sorry if I misread. Your question isn't phrased properly, so I kind of misunderstood it if that's what you were asking. Oh, Whaley versus Joanna. That was another great fight. Do you think, and also Oliveira versus Chandler is another one. I know it only lasted 2 rounds, but it was amazing. Do you think Islam will beat Oliveira? No, I think Oliveira will win, but I'm 50-50. How can Ty beat Gon? It's Gon. He's going to have to clip him and KO him. Conor's 19-1, only count knockouts. That third fight was an illegitimate win. No, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Jones isn't even in the conversation for greatest of all time because he couldn't do it, had to use drugs, okay? What's your favorite championship fight? Same. I have an autographed picture of both Rory McDonald and Robbie Lawler hanging in my living room. That's how much I like it. It's the stare down in between the rounds, and they both autographed it. It was sold on the UFC's website. And anyone who beats their wife is not in the conversation. Yeah, but it's allegedly. But I get what you're saying. Roy McDonald was good too. Robbie versus Condit was amazing as well. Yep. Yeah, I have this stare down in between rounds between Lawler and Rory. I have a video on the members only videos where I show all my MMA memorabilia. If anybody wants to become a member of the channel, you get to join the members only Discord. You get loyalty badges next to your name. You get custom emojis to use in the chat and in the comments. And you get extra videos and extra live stream replays. All that good stuff. It costs $3 a month. It's a great way to support the channel. The link is down in the description, but I'll also post it in the chat as well. So if anybody wants to become a member by clicking that link. It costs $3 a month. The members only Discord's worth it alone. So if any of the members are in here, let them know. The Discord's worth it alone. It costs $3 and you can cancel it at any time. So there you go. And when the channel gets bigger, and we've already had some crazy streams where I can't read all the messages. And in the future, the ones that are going to be prioritized are the one with the badges next to their name. I'm always going to try to read most questions, but I'm just saying, you know, in the future when it gets more difficult, and some streams when we have 125 people in there, it gets hard reading all the messages. What about Chandler versus Islam? Who wins the matchup? Chandler can catch him with a bomb and explodes, and his anti-BJJ is crazy, but I think Islam will most likely dominate him on the ground. Who would win? I don't know, man. I'm 50-50 on that. I hate giving non-answers. I'd probably go Islam. I think he'd be able to get him down. He'd get tired. What's the biggest robbery in UFC history, in your opinion? Whew. There's been quite a few. The worst one I ever saw, Ross Pearson, Diego Sanchez, was really, really bad. Really, really bad. But there's been some bad ones. The Arlovsky fight. Who did he just fight? Who did Arlovsky just fight? He shouldn't have got the victory. I forgot who he fought already, but yeah. Discord is sick on Fight Night. Thank you for being a member, constantly growing. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I love Discord on Fight Night, especially the big pay-per-views. We're all in there talking and giving our opinions on the fights. It's worth it. The membership is worth it alone on that. In your opinion, I know what you meant. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. What's the biggest robbery you guys have ever seen? Ross Pearson, Diego Sanchez is up there. I mean, Ross Pearson clearly won the fight. And for some reason, the judges gave it to Diego Sanchez, which is just egregious. Biggest rivalry has to be McGregor and Khabib. Also Jones, DC. Yeah, I'd probably go Jones, DC. Most intense, probably Conor Khabib. Oh, you said robbery. I thought you said rivalry. Well, fair enough. Now we get to talk about both. GSP Johnny Hendricks. That fight was kind of close. You know, if you scored it round by round, I remember the aesthetics didn't look great, but it wasn't. It could have easily been a robbery for Hendricks. A lot of people thought Hendricks won that fight. The co-main on 274 will never get back that time. Yeah, the UFC 274 co-main event Rob does. That was the biggest robbery of all time, I believe as well. I want a refund. I had to watch that co-main event twice. Ew, I watched it twice. It was terrible. Ugh. I didn't fast forward through even the corner advice. I can't believe I rewatched that fight. Boss versus Randleman, unfamiliar, but I know who you're talking about. Tito versus Dana was a great rivalry. Yeah, but I guess, it's still a rivalry even if they didn't fight. But what's the worst robbery you guys have ever seen in the UFC? Like, you know what I mean? Let me know. I'm curious because I can only think of a couple off the top of my head. Let's see if this loads up. I was trying to do a poll, but for some reason the chat where I can put the poll isn't working. So I won't be doing that tonight. Let me see something. Reyes Jones. I actually scored the fight for Jones. So I don't think it was a robbery. Austin McMahon. Okay. That's not MMA or UFC. So that's an interesting answer nonetheless. Biggest robbery, Pedro Munoz versus Frankie Edgar. And BJ Penn versus Frankie won. Also Jones Reyes. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I thought Pedro definitely beat Frankie. You're not serious. Reyes clearly won. Go rewatch it. There were some rounds that were scored round by round. It's not scored based off the fight. I thought it could have went either way. So therefore, I do not think it's a robbery. I get it that a lot of people thought Reyes won. I thought it could have went either way. But at the end of the day, if it was close enough that it could go either way, then I don't think it's a robbery. But agree to disagree. I'm sure there's plenty of people that will agree with you on that. I know, bro, on the Austin thing. Yeah, I know. Joey, do you think Justin's name is forever going to be linked to Chandler because they had such an epic fight, kind of like Robbie? Yes, definitely. I do understand what you're saying, and definitely they will forever be linked because of that amazing fights. Because of that amazing fight. The third round was a little bit but it was still a solid fight. First and second round was insane, and we knew it was going to be insanity going into it. Okay, I did. Reyes didn't win 3 rounds to you. Not saying robbery, clear win, though. That was give the edge to the champ crap. I remember thinking it could have went either way when it went to the scorecards. And I rewatched it, and I said, I could really score these rounds either way. So, I thought it was close. Reyes clearly won the first 3 rounds. 1 and 2 and 3, all Reyes. Okay. Conor McGregor versus Dan Hooker for the... Stop it. There's a vacant undisputed belt, and you want to make an interim belt? I feel like Gus Reyes can be a classic. That would be a fun fight. But Gus has gone to heavyweight. Gus left to go to heavyweight. Izzy versus Romero and Rose versus Carlo 2. Both fights robbed us our money. Yeah. Rose versus Carlo 2 was an absolute barn burner, guys. Anybody who did not like Rose versus Carlo 2, you are not a real MMA fan. That was one of the best displays of mixed martial artists I've ever seen. I'm kidding, obviously. That's sarcasm. That's absolute sarcasm. How's my guys? What's up with the Hamza Colby stuff? I just made a video about it, so now we're talking about it. It's the fight to make in the welterweight division, but we don't know if it's going to get made, but we were just talking about it. That's why it's in the title. It's not an official fight. It wasn't meant to come off as an official fight in the title. It's just we're talking about the potential future matchup of those two guys. Killed me with the interim Mac Hooker. Worst part is everything is possible with Dana White privilege. Yeah. Laughing faces. Jorge Masvidal versus Justin Gaethje. Who wins and why? I'll say Jorge Masvidal. Gaethje's going to get slept, I think, because Jorge Masvidal has nasty power, and he knows Gaethje's not going to try to take him down. That was the way Tony was finished. Was how I was when watching Rose versus Carla. Yeah, consider Tony can consider himself lucky he wasn't awake to see Rose Carla 2. Rose versus Carla 2 and Izzy versus Romero was absolute wars. I would agree. Your favorite UFC MMA documentary? I don't have one. I haven't watched very many. Rose sounded out of it in the post-fight saying the crowd only booed Carla. Yeah, talk about lack of self-awareness. There's something going on up there, and I don't know what it is. I saw an interview with Andreas Michaels, and I think Alex is going back to light heavyweight. Okay. I think, doesn't he have a fight booked at heavyweight right now, though? He was supposed to fight Ben Rothwell, but the next thing you know, Ben Rothwell was cut. I hope you're right, though. If I was him, I'd be looking at light heavyweight. Much more solid chance much more solid chance of getting back to a title. And he's beat Glover Teixeira before. Jorge would spark Justin. Rose versus Carla 2 robbed me of 25 minutes of my life. Okay. Jorge versus Al was a terrible robbery. And Romero versus Whitaker 2. Romero versus Whitaker 1 was close to. Yeah, both Romero-Whitaker fights were really close. It could have went either way. Who's your favorite UFC fighter and why? I feel like I get this question every single stream, but it's Jose Aldo. The guy is just on the top of his game. He's been counting out time and time again. He's such a humble guy. He's such a fun fighter to watch. And he's just been around forever. Jose Aldo is the guy. First 2 fights of UFC 275 main card, not great. Manuel Kopp is just before the Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. He's usually exciting. Yeah, but didn't he test positive for something? How is he back already? I would love to see that. What was your reaction when Nate took a piss at UFC Performance Institute? I hope they got a fight signed while he was there. That's what was my reaction. I didn't really care. Did you see the Pat Barry interview? Yes, I did. The Pat Barry interview was hard to watch. I didn't watch it all because it was just listening to Pat Barry talk is he's insufferable. It's hard. It's just genuinely hard to listen to him. I don't know if the guy's on meth. I don't know if the guy uses some sort of hard drugs. But something ain't right with that guy. Something ain't right with that guy at all. And Ariel Helwani asked him, would you like to address the situation behind your and Rose's relationship once and for all? And he said, no. We haven't sweated that for years. And he just changed the subject, basically. And I'm thinking, yeah, he hasn't sweated it since she was 15. That's what if he would have said that? Oh, my God. Could you imagine? He said, we haven't sweated that since she was 15. Yeah, Pat Barry's a weirdo. I think Rose is right up there with him. You know, Pat Barry gets a lot of the criticism. I think Rose is rather strange as well. Anybody who could sit through more than 5 minutes of listening to Pat Barry talk, congratulations. That's not something I could do. I can watch Rose Namajunas Carla 2 twice, but I can't listen to Pat Barry talk for an extended period of time. Aldo is the Manny Pacquiao of MMA. I've heard someone say that before. Does Jose have a fight book? No, he does not. Jose Aldo will forever be a legend. You think he's the featherweight GOAT? He's barely clinging on to it right now. Alexander Volkanovski is about to snatch it out from underneath him quick. Is Barry on drugs or is he naturally like that? He's been like that forever. But what's to say he hasn't been using those forever, you know? I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be one thing or another. I really don't know. But it's disturbing. Most attractive UFC female fighter, in your opinion? I have no idea. I've been asked this so many times. I'll leave it up to the chat. I feel like maybe you've asked it before. Who do you guys think is the most attractive UFC fighter, female fighter? Chat, answer Anthony Martinez. He wants to know. Joe, what's your favorite thing about the sport? Is it the super fights, money fights, the rivalries, classics fights, just like I mentioned, or fighters moving? My favorite thing about the sport is the anticipation. And that's why I love having this channel. My favorite thing is having a compelling fight card coming up, having a big main event coming up, and just anticipating what might happen during that fight. It's just awesome. And then watching it, and then when it lives up to the hype, it's just amazing. Aldo versus Cruz would be fun. Macy Barber versus Miranda Maverick was a robbery. I agree. I genuinely think he's on drugs as well. Yeah, for sure. Jose Aldo is reportedly going to fight Cruz, but it hasn't been booked, but those were the rumblings. Yeah, people have said there was rumblings of Cruz versus Merab as well. What is the biggest fight UFC can make commercially? For me, it's Khamzat versus Conor. Yeah, that would be huge. But realistic fights would be Khamzat Usman and Francis Ngannou versus Johnny Bones Jones, and Conor versus Masvidal would probably be the biggest one they could make. But Conor versus Hamza would be ginormous, but I don't think that's realistic. Pat Barry was with Rose when she was 15. I don't know. All I know is he did an interview when she was 21, and he said they've been dating for about 4 or 5 years. So take that for what you will. He's 13 years older than her. It's a weird situation. DMT Monkey says Alexa Grasso. Didn't know Rose was abused as a child. Probably has a lot to do with her mental issues and lack of confidence. Could very well be. I'm not a therapist. Hiroshi likes Tracy Cortez. Norma Dumont. Amanda Rebus. Barry parties with Jones. And Rose trains with Diego Sanchez. Okay. Paige, Alexa Grasso, Macy Barber, and Tisha Torres. Macy Barber? Ooh. Yeah, whoever wins the Max and Volk 3 will be the featherweight GOAT due to having wins over Aldo. Max stopped Prime Aldo twice. Very true. But the body of work, I think Aldo has a claim above Holloway, if that makes sense. Joe, do you think Conor is an alcoholic, and do you ever think he definitely is done drugs? I don't know if he's an alcoholic or not. He definitely drinks. He definitely makes poor decisions while he's drinking, but I'm not around him in his day-to-day life to know the true answers to those questions. But we can just speculate on it a little bit, but who knows? You saw the interview DC did with Cejudo and Aljo. I did not see this interview. What is said in this interview? Fill me in the chat. What is said? I would love to know. Guys, if you have not already, like the stream. Like the stream. Let me see how many likes we got on the stream right now. Yeah, we got 42 people in here, and we got 21 likes. Look, if we can get it up to 40 likes, we'll go for an hour and a half tonight. If we can get it up to 40 likes in the next 5 minutes, we'll go for an hour and a half. We're at an hour and 6 minutes right now. So go like the stream right now. It's free. It's easy. And it helps promote the channel. We're trying to just blaze the 5,000 subscribers. That's what we're trying to do. So like this stream, click the thumbs up. It's super simple. And if you guys want to go to an hour and a half, do it. If not, don't. That's fine by me as well. You saw the interview. You never filled me in on that. Which female fighter is attractive yet badass? I don't know. I guess one of the ones mentioned before. Roxanne Modafferi. Yeah. Conor is on cocaine. Everyone knows that. When you are at his position, you've seen it all, and you don't get kicked out of anything anymore, so you turn to drugs and you get addicted. Would not surprise me, honestly. Would not surprise me. It's very possible. He's definitely on. He was at some point in time. He's definitely doing something. They did it in his Cejudo's house. Basically, set up a match. Pee between them. Talked a bit of shit. It was serious and respectful. That's very strange. I did not know that. Roxanne Modafferi again. I just read this message, so I'll put that back down. Let's see what we got here. Guys, we still didn't run up the likes. Come on now. All right, guys. Fill the chat with questions. We're going to be on for about another 5 minutes. I might do a Bellator stream tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Go vote in the poll in the channel. Go watch the Hamza Colby Covington video. But if you want to extend the stream, run up the likes. That's what we need to do. Or here we'll do this too. We started a donation train last time. If you want to extend the stream to an hour and a half, send a super chat donation to the channel. Support the channel with a super chat donation. Otherwise, I'm going to answer a few more questions and then we'll get out of here in a couple minutes. Tony going after DC after his loss is hilarious, or accusing DC of snorting. I did see that. I don't even know why DC responded to him. Honestly, he should have just left it be because Ferguson called him out for cheating by holding the towel. Tracy Cortez, Paige Van Zant, Michelle Watterson, Joanna, Claudia, Alexa Grasso. Okay, that's way too many names for me to read. Conor versus Mas Vidal, Chimaev versus Usman, same card. Imagine. That'd be incredible. That'd be an incredible card, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So, but I would love that to happen. But the UFC, that's two separate main events. If they do Conor versus Mazvidal, they're not going to stack that card. They're just not going to do it because They know what Masvidal and Conor will sell regardless of what the card looks like. So they're not going to stack it at all. Holly Holm. Okay, I'm not even... Conor's the type of person to ask on a skit, get fat in an interview and tell the media that his next fight's at 205. The guy is delusional for sure. Dylan Dennis versus Piotr Yan MMA fight. Who wins? If Yan, then does Figgy beat him too? If Yan, then does Figgy beat him too? Yes. Dylan Dennis is not a good MMA fighter at all. He would lose to both of them. Who would you bet your money on? Hamza versus CEO of EPO Marty. I'd go Khamzat Chimaev. What round does Suga finish prelim Pedro? Who knows? Pedro might finish Suga. That would not surprise me. I'm not saying that that's my official prediction, but Pedro's hard to finish. He's got a nasty chin. I want to see Aldo versus Cruz, due to them two being legends fighting late in their age. And Merab versus Yan due to camp rivalries. That'd be fun. Which chin most likely to get cracked next? I have a feeling it'll be Max or Conor if Conor fights Chandler. Yeah, both of them could happen. But I'll say Conor. Obviously, Dennis is trash. Just didn't know if 50 pounds of weight advantage could help him. Yeah. I don't think it will. I think he'd get wrecked. Who is the GOAT in your opinion? Unfortunately, it's probably Jones, but he has an asterisk next to his name because of the PED use. So probably Anderson, but he has the same issue. So I don't know. You know, you start trying to guess, and it's just like there's too many asterisks next to certain names because of PED use. So. Okay, one last thing before we go, because I put it in the title, and I don't plan on changing the title. Bellator 281 is tomorrow. I think the main card starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I may or may not do a stream on it. I put a poll on the channel. Doesn't seem like a lot of people are interested in it, but I might do it anyway just because I've done a lot of like random fight card streams that have done very, very well. So if you're interested in that, go vote. Just let me know. But the main event is MVP Michael Page versus Logan Storley. It's basically grappler versus striker. Logan Storley is going to want to come in, take him down, hold him down, control him on the ground. And we know that's the path to victory against a guy like MVP. I think it's an interesting fight. It's for a interim welterweight title because the welterweight champion is from Ukraine. What is his name? Now I forgot his name. That's really annoying. Now I can't remember his name. Bellator. It's not. Is it Koreshkov? Or is it Amoslav, right? Well, welterweight champion. I think it's Amoslav. Yeah, Yaroslav Amosov. Yeah, so he's the champion, but he's in Ukraine battling right now. So he's not going to be able to defend his title anytime soon. Who knows if he ever comes back? Who knows if something could happen to him? But they're doing MVP versus Logan Storley. Tomorrow, it's the main event of Bellator 281. It's striker versus grappler. MVP's got that funky style with that wide base and has knockout power. I'm glad you guys all answered me in there. I almost wanted to say Koreshkov for some reason, but then I realized it was Amosov. Amosov would beat MVP with ease. Logan Storley, I'm 50-50 on whether or not he's able to get it done. MVP obviously has an issue with wrestlers, but he obviously probably been working on that, and he does have good knockout power. I could totally see him getting the knockout, but I'm definitely going to watch the fight regardless if I stream it. Is there anybody specifically in the chat that wants me to stream that tomorrow? Let me know now. But also go vote in the poll, because right now it's heavily no. I put a poll out, would you join me for a Bellator 281 stream tomorrow? And it's like 60% no, 40% yes. Okay, I'm going to read these last few questions, then I'm getting out of here. Which fight would be worse, Rose versus Carla 2 or Bilal versus Ben Askren? Rose versus Carla 3 is what you meant. I want to see Yan versus Cruz. Call me crazy. I think Cruz beats him. No. Thank you for answering me. Should the UFC break up and allow fighters? No. Okay. I think Charles is the GOAT among current fighters. Could very well be. He's working on it for sure. Who's the better striker? Izzy or MVP? Izzy. I miss Amoslav too, who's fighting in Bellator. We already answered that. Hell yeah, do it. You are the best and most humble MMA YouTuber. Thank you for all your content, Mr. Joey. We adore you, sir. Thank you, Hiroshi Naharo. Where are you from? Is that just a random name you chose out of nowhere? Where are you from? Let me know in the chat before I go. I'm interested to know. With a compelling name like that, let me know where you are from. Actually, everybody, I always do this once in a while. Before I go, this is the last thing I'll do. Everyone in the chat, put where you are watching the stream from right now. It always amazes me how many different people all over the world are watching the streams from all different countries, all different continents. It's just absolutely insane to me. So if you feel like it, be as specific or as non-specific as you want. Put in the chat where you are from. So, is this supposed to be funny, Jordan? Is it supposed to be funny? Baltimore, Maryland, apparently, for Jordan. L.A., Los Angeles, Toronto, Canada. I almost said something else. I'm from India, and Hiroshi is an anime character. I see what you're saying. New Mexico. I could have guessed. I could have probably guessed from your name. Baltimore, Van Nuys, Canada, I think, right? Van Nuys, Canada, I'm assuming. It's crazy. It's insane. So, SoCal, I remembered that. Pity's an STI, but thank you for answering anyway. I'm at work right now. I work at Amazon. We're not even supposed to have our phones out. That's how much I love your content. Are you listening on AirPods right now? And then like pulling out your phone and typing messages? Now I need to know the answer to this, Anthony. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you guys love the channel enough to risk getting fired. For watching the stream. Thank you. Dallas, yes. I'm glad to be in your ear on an AirPod. And I think that pretty much does it. There we go. Anthony Martinez, go watch the new Hamza video if you haven't already. You can listen to that in your pocket. Everyone. If you have not gone and watched the new video, here, I'll post a link for you so you guys can easily get to it. I just released a video. All my videos have been doing very well recently, so help this video do well. This is it's California. I'm dumb. Van Nuys is California. Here's the link to the newest video. Go watch the video and go like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. I just released it a couple hours ago. So if you guys would go watch it, like it, and comment on it. Go straight from the stream. Go to it, like it, and comment on it, and watch it for as long as possible. I posted the link in the chat so you guys can easily get to it. I would have really appreciated it. If you guys are free tomorrow, I'll probably stream Bellator anyway. I'm not 100% confident on that. But worst case scenario, I will be streaming on Saturday for the UFC fight card. So thank you guys for joining me, and enjoy the